Hi, so in this video I wanted to talk about using printf in your bash scripts, and basically this is going to be like a tutorial about printf. But one of the important things that I wanted to, one other important thing that I wanted to cover in this video is the issue that the echo command has that is very important to know about, especially when writing scripts, and and why you might want to stick to using printf, especially when writing scripts, because of this issue. And I'm going to explain what it is. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's start out with by discussing this issue, and then we'll kind of segue into a discussion about, or basically a printf tutorial. I'll show you the main ways that of using printf, and just kind of cover the basic usage. I'm not gonna go over like every single thing. I will just cover the things that are used most, I tend to use most frequently, and from that point you should be good to go to explore on your own. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So now echo. So basically echo is kind of this command that when you start learning terminal, you just kind of learning to use bash, and you open the terminal, and then it's like, well, if you want to print some text, then you use the echo command, and that prints out the text. And it's like, what could be simpler than that, right? But I honestly don't know like how this happened. But basically echo command has this weird thing. It has to do with some like standard that was implemented at one point, and then things got kind of a bit strange. But let's just kind of let's see what the deal is. Basically echo has a few options that you can use. For example, this -e option, which kind of does the same as putting a $sign. I just finished recording the ANSI escape sequences tutorial, so let me just kind of find the example that I used there. So I could do this and have all the ANSI escape sequences interpreted by bash by using the $sign. By using the $sign before the single quotes. But I could also use this -e command in echo, and that would do the same thing without me needing to use the $sign. Then just echo will take care of it. So one other thing is, I think that you can use the end to not print the new line. Yeah, it removes the new line from the end of the string. So these are all kind of options that make sense. Like if I were using printf, I could either let me find some printf example. I already have the new line here, so let me clean this up so that there's not a lot of distractions. So %s refers to this argument, and the new line, if I don't add it, then it will just not get printed, and you get the same thing as with the echo n, basically. So you have to add the new lines explicitly with printf. But basically the trouble with echo begins when you want to print out a string that goes -e, for example, or -n, that basically coincides with an option. And if you do this, then it just doesn't work, because it thinks that this is an option, and it parses it as an option. So if I happen to put something else in it after this, then that would it would get to this point and just basically finished parsing options here, and then it got to this string, and then it printed out that. The quotes here, by the way, they don't do anything at all. Like for the command, it doesn't matter if you put the quotes or not. Like what it receives is only the argument. So like the quoting it only deals with things before the argument actually enters the command, before the command receives the argument. What the command receives depends on the quoting, but the command doesn't see the quotes ever. So like whether you quote or not does not matter at all. I just put the quotes here to make my intention clear that this is something that I'm want to print as a string, but the echo cannot do it. Like if you know a bit about the command line utilities, you'll probably think, well, you can probably use the double dash to tell the command that like this is, do not interpret the following arguments as options. Those are like actual those are non-optional arguments. But echo doesn't get it. Like it does not use the double dash. Now with Z shell, apparently there is a thing that it can use a single dash for this particular purpose, but we're not talking about Z shell here because I'm making bash tutorials here. But with Z shell, apparently there is this, sort of like you can use it in that case and use a single dash for the same purposes you would use the double dash, but in bash that's not available. So basically, let me see. What I actually haven't checked, and maybe I should have before I started recording this video, but let me do it right now. If it will kind of, what if I put here that is not an actual option? Well, okay, so like it only kind of gets confused if it is an actual option. So someone commented on this thing here. So basically there's more kind of about this and this answers. You can read that on your own. The point is that like if a command that is supposed to print out characters cannot print out certain strings that you give to it, that's not a good thing to use in a script, especially. Like it's fine to use echo if I want to just like test out something on the terminal and I know that it's not a -e thing or a -n or whatever like other option that echo has, then it's fine. Like you can use it to just like run a quick test instead of typing out like printf, like it's longer, right, and all of this stuff. You can just use echo, but in a script, like at some point or another you will come across a case where you did not expect it, but like it just so happened that there was this string there, and then you get weird results, and then you keep scratching your head not understanding what's happening, and then like after like a few hours of like banging your head against the wall, you realize that like, oh, it's echo, because it just doesn't get that it's not an option. And it's like I had that experience, I believe in even a couple of times, where I was just like, yeah, let me just like use echo to test out this output, and then I didn't realize that there was like a string that went -e. Maybe I was testing some command that was like running in the script, and I just wanted to like echo out like some arguments or something, and it just happened to be one of the arguments, and there you go. So like then it won't work. So this answer basically also gives the solution. The correct and portable solution is to use printf. And so this is kind of, you might sort of like hear sometimes people get really fanatical about using printf like all the time, and I kind of understand that, because echo has this real flaw, I think, and it's just like I can't really interpret it as anything else but a flaw. Because the purpose of echo, let me see, like let's open the manual and see like what the purpose is. Display a line of text. So it can't display all the lines of text. It can't display these lines of text like these ones. So what's up with that? I don't know. That doesn't work. So basically printf is something that is really important to know how to use for this reason, especially in scripts. Like when it comes to my approach to coding bash scripting specifically, I never ever use echo in my scripts at all. I might only put echo there if I'm testing out some part of the script while I'm programming. Like, but not like never in the final version of the script will there be echo in my script ever. For this reason, I just go printf percent s backslash n, and that's my echo basically, always. And there's also a lot of nice advantages to using printf because it's a lot more powerful than echo, but we'll get to that. So basically, it's actually kind of nice as well because then it means that I can just open one of my scripts and just like search for echo in the script and then remove all of the test messages that I might have forgotten about, because I know that like if it's echo, then it's just a test message. It's not meant to stay there. It's just that's kind of like a little side effect, but basically, yeah. So this is the whole deal with echo and printf. I hope it's clear why it's really important. And like if you think that it's never gonna happen to you, it will. I'm gonna guarantee you that it will. It's just like like if you are like in any way serious about your script being like robust and actually working well, it's not a good idea to use echo. Like I would just I would very strongly advocate for using printf in that case. And it's kind of very rare that I would that strongly advocate for any aspect of coding because everyone has different style and different preferences, but this thing with echo is just it's a problem. So okay, let me leave it at this, and let's talk about printf and what it can do, and hopefully also just kind of once you learn printf, you can do a lot of really cool things. So that's another reason to use printf more if you aren't already. So let's take a look. What can this wonderful command do? Basically, it has a format string as the first argument, and then it can take any number of arguments after that. So I already had this example many times, but %s here basically stands for the first argument, and then as a new line. If I pass more text here, then that will become kind of then it just will keep repeating things since there's no other %s's here, or it doesn't have to be an s, but we'll get to that. Like there can be other letters there that indicate different types of formatting, but %s stands for string. So like if you just want to print out text, this is the way to go, %s. So since there's only 1% here in this format string, it just loops basically to the beginning and starts reusing this format string for the following arguments. Now, if I did have here, for example, like let's just go like text and then go like I don't know ++ just to have some separator there, and add another %s, then it will print out. I mean, hopefully, as you would expect, I hope you get like how this works now. It just like replaces the first %s with the first argument, the second %s with the second argument, and then it would repeat, of course, again. So like if I pass more stuff here, it will just go again. And yeah, like if one is missing, then there's going to be nothing. So this is kind of the basic, the very foundation of how printf works. Also, like it's good to know printf because you will benefit from it if you're programming in other languages like Python or Lua, or like I'm sure a ton of others. Those are the ones that I'm familiar with, but like it's just used all over the place. There are like functions that basically in those languages that work in by using the same principles as printf. So like the format strings will be almost the same, and like work almost in almost the same way, and so on. So this is a very worthwhile thing to learn. Yeah, one more thing to just kind of why this is very very good to know. So now what else can you do with this? You can also specifically tell it that it's a number by using D for digit. So if you have a number here and then text, then it will format that as a number. So you might wonder what the difference is. So like if I have not a number here, then it will say that there is a problem, invalid number. It does still put a 0 there, but it will also print an error message, and it exits with an error exit code. It can also, let me see, so it can also round numbers and do things like that, or add leading zeros. For example, if I wanted to have let's say like 3 leading zeros to every number that I give it, like let's say, let me kind of just work with this for now. So I'll just pass like 1 to 10. So like this particular construct is the same as passing 1, 2, 3, etc. as arguments, just a shorthand for that. So this will add leading zeros to all the numbers, whatever they are, they will be formatted correctly. Then you can also have like floating point numbers, and you can also tell it to basically print out the floating point number to a certain degree of accuracy. Let me see if I get this right. I don't use it very often, but for example, if I had like 1.1, then since I had like .3 here, then it basically rounds that number to 3 decimal places. So I could like add more stuff here, but then it would just round it correctly to that. So like maybe I could go like 1749999, and that will still give this result 1.175, which is again like another nice thing to be able to do. Like if you need to round a number quickly in the bash script, you can do it with printf very easily. Now, as far as like what are all the different possibilities, like what can you put in the format string, I've actually been having trouble finding like good documentation of like that would cover everything, but I did find this, again, answer on Stack Exchange that gives some good information. Particularly, I found this link helpful. This link actually is not available anymore, but I found this page on web.archive.org, so I'll link to this in the description too. Basically, it does have a list of a bunch of different format strings for printf, and also specifically like what we're using right now. The printf that I'm using right now is actually a bash built-in, so I can check that by using the type built-in. So as you can see, it's a shell built-in, and it has some additional things that it can do. For example, it can store the value, assign the output of printf to a variable by using this -v option, which is not kind of like if I were to use the, Basically, shell built-in is something that's built in Bash, which is really good because it means that Bash won't have to call an external command. But if I ran like type -p printf, you can see that there is also like an actual external command in the system. One thing that this is important. One thing that is another like format string that is good to know is this %q. %q allows you to quote any string correctly for the shell. So, for example, if I had, let's put some a lot of weird stuff, put a bunch of special characters here, and if I did %q\n, it would escape it for the shell. So like all of these things are escaped, and I can just do like, let's do echo, because whatever, and that gets output correctly, so it's the same as this. So this can be can come in handy too when writing bash scripts, and good to know about. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to cover all these options because a lot of these I honestly never really used, but they are available here, and yeah, you can take a look at them and see if something catches your eye as like, yeah, like maybe that's something that you need. Yeah, one thing that I should have mentioned is since the % signs in the format string are special characters to just looking for some here. So for example, if I want to have an actual % sign in the format string, I would have to put double %, so % escapes itself. So that is also important to know. Basically, let me see, so what else could I talk about? So yeah, this is actually useful too. So if you want to have your string always like extended to a certain length, if it's shorter than that, you can use like this length specifier, and that will always be like 20 characters, and I think unless it's more than that. So let me use like 5, for example. Oops, I deleted the % sign. So this is 5 characters wide, but like if it's goes over that, then it just then it becomes longer. You can also align your columns sort of like this way. You can kind of print text specifically like of a certain width, and so for example, you could have an array, and you could figure out like what the longest string in the array is, and you could pass that array like to printf. Let me kind of show you what I mean. Let's have an array that has like ASDF, GHJ, and KL, for example. That's going to be our test array. So I can now go like ahead and pass this array. This basically becomes the argument to printf, exactly the same as if I just like copied this from between the parentheses and just inserted it here. Arrays are really nice. So yes, and I could like have like, I would have to do like another operation here to figure out what the longest string is, but like once I have that value, I could just like add it here to the format string. I could just like insert here, insert it as a variable here, length, and then I could do that. But since I don't have it right now, let me just go like 4, because I know that the longest one is 4, but I could figure that out programmatically too. Then it would give me a column that is right aligned. I could also left align it by adding a hyphen. Maybe it's before the number. Actually, I don't remember, but yeah, it's before the number. So this if you do this, then the text gets left aligned. So this way you can, you know, like print out things in a very specific way, in exactly the way that you want. So this is kind of most of the things that, like I said, I was gonna just cover the basic usage and like main principles, and the rest you can just like refer to the documentation, because there's a lot that I could go into. And like I said, I haven't really used every single one of these things because there just was no need for that. So yeah, but I will leave the links to the docs in the description so that you can take a look. So I also wanted to mention one more thing in this tutorial, and that is to give like a practical example of using printf in a script. And for this I'm gonna use my search and sub script as an example. This is just a script that can search for text in subtitle files and then like show you those search results, and it can also play the search results in NPV player. I have other videos about this script on my channel, but let's just now talk about this particular error message here. So so let's take a look. So I use printf here, and here's my format string, and then then I pass two arguments to it. The first argument is the name of the script, and I derive it from the value of the bash source variable. This is how you can get the name of the script from that variable. I'm not gonna go into more detail than this here, but this we can just know that this is the name of the script. And the second argument is the error message itself. Now, if we take a look at our format string, we can see that we have two format specifiers here. One is the first %s is in square brackets. This is just to basically show that the name of the script, this is where the name of the script goes. It just goes into these square brackets. So this is how you often see command line programs displaying their messages, so that you can see that this message came from this particular program. You have the name in brackets at the beginning of the message, and then I add a space and another %s, and the error message gets put in there. So this is the format string, and now you can also see that there's more stuff here. And this is one reason that I wanted to mention this example also, is because this combines using ANSI escape sequences with printf. And basically what I do here is I add ANSI escape sequences only if they are if colorization is enabled in the script. So if colorization is not enabled, then they will not be added. So this is why there's this extra bash expansion here. Basically, it checks if this opt color variable is set, and if it is set, then it expands to this string. If it's not set, it expands to nothing. So basically, what the end result is that if this opt color is not set, then the format string will be just this bit, and then there's this new line at the end as well. But these parts will be dropped. But if opt color is set, then these escape sequences will be added and the message will be colorized. So let's see this in action. So I think if I just run search and subs, yes, I get this message because I didn't specify any search term. So yes, and if I disable the color, I get the same message, but without the color added. So in the second case, like, these escape sequences were not added, and it was just this bit and the new line, and so we got the name of the program in square brackets, which is when was this argument, the name of the script, which was inserted here between the square brackets, and then the message after a space, which came from here. And in this first case, the same thing happened, but also these escape sequences were added, and that's why the message is in red. So this is just a quick example. Hopefully it kind of just illustrates how you can use printf and ANSI escape sequences together in Bash. And you don't need like anything really fancy, like Bash already has these things to take care of adding or not adding like certain bits to a string if depending on the value of a certain variable. And so, or rather not the value but the state of that variable, if it's set or it's not set. But yeah, so you can do this kind of in one go by just doing this just printing a message like this. And so this is how I use printf very often in my scripts, for instance, but there's also other uses, of course, but this is kind of very common for just printing messages from your script. So yeah, this is basically it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching. I hope it kind of explained some things to you about printf, and also clarified the issue about why echo is sometimes discouraged when it comes to Bash scripting. And yeah, so I hope that was helpful and that it improves your Bash scripting skills. So yeah, I hope you liked this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.